The cost of IT in business can be staggering. From hardware and software expenses to services like internet and phone, you don't need to spend a fortune on IT to succeed. If your organization spends more than $500 monthly on any service, or you're considering signing a long-term contract, IT Enabled can help you manage your technology and minimize your costs. Contact us today to schedule a free consultation. IT Enabled, we're here to help.
Hi, I'm Tara Watson-Watkins, President and CEO of the Lufkin, Angelina County Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to the Connect podcast, connecting business to the community. I'm here today with my co-host, Blake Pollino with BP Media Group.
This week, we have Shelly Smith on to talk about the Buckner Children and Family Services here in Angelina County. This is truly an eye-opening episode on some of the amazing programs that they offer for women and children and everyone in this community. So let's jump into that episode now.
Well, we're honored to have you on the podcast today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Why don't you introduce yourself, give a little bit of background history, and then we'll talk about Buckner and all that you do for the community.
Okay. I'm Shelly Smith. I'm the Director of Administration and Operations. I currently oversee Longview and Lufkin campuses. I've been with Buckner. I just had my 3-year anniversary. And prior to that, I was the Executive Director for CASA, so Court Appointed Special Advocates. Okay. And I was a juvenile probation officer for a long time. So that's kind of my background and history. But I've been with Buckner and serving in that kind of the missional work for a while.
Okay. And you said you're based actually out of Longview.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I am.
So we got to get you to Lufkin more.
I'm coming here as often as I can. It's a little bit of a truck, but it's okay. And I'm learning kind of the environment. And, you know, Marissa Phillips was the executive director here and is still over Family Pathways, very embedded in the Lufkin community for a really long time. And she and I have worked very closely together over the last 3 years. So she has helped me transition into this position and learning Lufkin.
That's great. That's great. Well, for those that are listening that aren't familiar with Buckner, tell them what you do.
Oh, Buckner Children and Family Services has been around in Lufkin 25 years. This year will be our 25th year in Lufkin, and it started with Family Pathways, which is our residential program for single moms. Foster care and adoption started in that same time frame, and then it grew to include the Child Development Center and now Trail or FYI that offers services for youth who are aging out of care. So we've grown to those 4 programs, but started almost 25 years ago here.
Wow.
That is awesome. Super cool organization. So I actually just got to go tour Buckner and learn a little bit about what you do. So I'm in the current leadership Lufkin class here at the Chamber, and it was one of the stops on our community day to go by, and I was just blown away at everything that you guys are offering there.
It's hard to really explain some of the services in a few snippets, because a lot of times when you're speaking to groups, it's like, okay, you get that 20-minute spot, especially where Family Pathways is concerned, because it's such a unique wraparound service. You know, single moms enrolled in full-time education who are provided with scholarships and a wraparound services. They are offered counseling, family coaching, financial education, and then just community support and resources. And so it's a true opportunity to wrap around those moms to ensure that they are self-sufficient in the future and that they can care for their families when they graduate from college.
Yeah, and a place for them to live.
And a place for them to live.
Childcare for them while they're in school.
Yes.
And just, I was really blown away at all of the different types of things that you offer that can really be life-changing for a lot of people. So I could imagine, you know, if you're a single mom and you're in a circumstance where you're needing help and you're needing these things, I mean, that's a completely life-changing situation, because you have a very, very affordable place to live, free childcare or heavily discounted childcare, right there close to Angelina College. I mean, just a really, really great thing that you guys have set up.
Well, and Lufkin was the very first Family Pathways. And so it was a collaboration of, the Women's Center, Buckner coming together, and different community organizations that developed this concept. But now Buckner's replicated it. We have 8 locations across the state, all located where there's a community college or a 4-year university nearby. And so that program has just seen a lot of growth and a lot of success. But it started here in Lufkin. They broke ground 25 years ago. So that was the first beginning of the services here.
That's awesome.
So it's amazing.
And recently, you had a partnership with Lufkin Coca-Cola, if I recall.
We did. It was a partnership between Coke, Ashley Furniture, and Walmart. And actually, Walmart initiated that that process. We applied for a grant through one of their community grants, and then they just took it and run with it. And it was an amazing partnership, because normally it doesn't go into that, where it's an event for the moms, and then they furnish apartments, and it was a great collaboration.
That's
and you
great.
just don't see those many community partners come together like that. And to reach out to us and say, hey, we want to do this for your moms. We want to take that scholarship you applied, or that grant that you applied for, and just expand it and make these offerings. So it was amazing, and our moms loved it. And the residents were really the new residents moving in are really excited, because they have fully furnished apartments.
Right. I think that's such the beauty, and the thing that we've been talking about this month is just the fact that it is a community collaboration. It's not just one agency working to do all. That we really do have a partnership in Angelina County and in Lufkin, and to be able to work with multiple agencies and multiple nonprofits to be able to pull resources from each other and to help each other out. And I think that's one thing that makes Angelina County just so wealthy in its people, is the love and the passion that everybody has for each other, and to be able to help out.
Well, and it's so more productive for your community if partners come to the table and see, what are you doing that I don't need to do, and what can we support you in that you're already doing really well. And so, when you can come to the table, not only with just community partners such as Coke and Ashley and things like that are businesses wanting to come in, but with nonprofits in themselves, bringing those leaders to the table to say, what are you providing and what can we do for each other?
I love that.
That's great.
I had always known about Buckner. Like, I've been in and around Lufkin my entire life, and I knew you guys kind of existed over there as far as Lufkin goes, but I didn't really have a full grasp of everything that you do. So when we were there for Leadership Lufkin, I think it was last week, we watched a very, very moving video I don't think anyone didn't cry watching. It was very, very moving, about some of the child services that you offer, foster care, which was news to me. Like, I didn't know that, as far as Angelina County is concerned, and I think a lot of the counties around, you guys are the only child placement facility in this area. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Foster care and adoption, yes, it's an emotional topic, especially when you're talking about children who have been removed from their home. And we're in such desperate need of new foster homes, just across the state. But yes, you're talking multiple counties that are working through CPS and the child placement process. And so they reach out to us as the child placement agency to go, what homes do you have available? Because the goal is to keep children removed from their home within their own community.
Right.
And that goal is going to get more prevalent as we transition our system. And so, Amanda Mott is our supervisor, who you guys met with, and she is amazing at trying to keep children here. We just don't have enough homes, right. And so we need more. And that's one of our largest needs, because there's so many counties surrounding us that don't have necessarily placement agencies that really provide. The smaller the county, the less chances you are that you have a child placement agency that really comes in and recruits in that area. And so, we're doing events in Diboll and Franklin and Lufkin and all Nacogdoches, trying to recruit new families to come in to be able to place these children.
Yeah, it's crazy important because it's not something that we think about a lot of times unless our lives have been affected by it. But I didn't know that like orphanages are not a thing anymore. Like when you think about, children who are displaced, it's like you may not think about that on a daily basis, but there are not orphanages anymore.
Right.
So like these children that need a place to go are having to go through this system, and it was eye opening. Like we all left, like sign me up, like give me all of that video.
All the children.
That
Give me
video
all
was,
the children.
That video is very, very, very powerful. So I mean, we make videos for a living, and so it was really, really moving. I mean, and that's a great thing that you guys do.
And we
for the
hope
community.
that gets broadcast out. I mean, if we could take that video and just put it everywhere,
Sure.
Where people could see the impact of it. A lot of my career has been spent working with children, either in the criminal justice system or in the foster care system, and either way, there is so much impact by a loving family, and if you can have a heart to foster, the goal of the child welfare system is always to reunify a family. And so if you can have the heart to foster and give that child love and care while their parents are trying to get their lives together and get back to normalcy and self-sufficiency and be able to be good parents, then you have a special heart, and you can make such a huge difference in that child's life.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. So other than signing up to be a foster parent, how can people here help you?
We have a lot of different volunteer opportunities. There's other ways to help foster families besides just becoming a foster family. There's getting licensed to be or certified to be a babysitter. And so coming alongside a foster family and offering that respite services for them, and that's just special classes that you have to take. There's just providing meals and education and different information for them, or just your church or organization providing that one night of free childcare for date night or anything like that. And then, with Family Pathways, there's always opportunities for helping like right now we'll be going into the holiday season, and so there's a lot of opportunities to wrap around these moms through food baskets, and Christmas all of our moms and their families will go up for adoption through the Christmas holidays, and then there's always unique offerings throughout the year that we have. Things on campus that need to be taken care of, things at the Child Development Center that are needs that our, families are wanting. And they can just reach out to us and work with our program directors because the needs consistently change.
Yeah.
But we always have something that we are looking at to bring in.
Okay. Well, I know that, I have a group of girlfriends and we always like to go and adopt different families, but I don't think we've ever thought about adopting a family from Buckner. And so I think that's great to let people know that during the holidays that, it's not just families from Salvation Army and from CISC, but also from Buckner. I think that's
Yes.
a great thing for people to know about.
Well, and in conversations, as I'm learning how things, because they're done differently across the state as how the holidays are handled and different services are provided. But there's a toy run in Lufkin that's really, handled by a church, and they handle foster families. And so I think the confusion has always been that the Family Pathways moms and families are included, and they're two separate programs.
Okay.
And so we put our Family Pathways moms up for adoption, and they're always adopted. They're always well taken care of. But that's a way that the community can surround them.
Absolutely.
And be able to provide that.
We need to do something at the chamber where we help let the public know during the year, and especially during the holidays, here are all the ways that you can give back. And so my brain is going in circles right now because I'm thinking about all the things that we can do to help try to spread that word and to help take care of the families that you're taking care of.
Absolutely. And if anybody's interested or wants more information, they're always just welcome to call our office, and we'll make sure that they get connected with the right director or supervisor or case manager to get whatever information that they're looking for.
That's great.
That's awesome. So where can people do that? So they can call the office. Is there a website they can go to if they're interested in being more involved? How would you go about doing that?
There is. Buckner.org/Lufkin is our primary site. It talks about all of our programs, has all of the links. Then Foster Care and Adoption has their own site under Buckner.org. And so all of our Prepare to Care classes, which is becoming licensed, any information, we do info meetings every Thursday and they're virtual. And so anybody who's interested in foster care and adoption can just jump on that and ask all the questions that they want to understand what licensing really entails. And then, they can just call the office anytime to be able to get more information on anything that they're looking for.
That's awesome.
Great. Well, thank you for being here today. We
Thank
really
you so
appreciate
much.
it. Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And I want to give you one chance just to let our listeners know about some of the opportunities. So if you are a single mother who could benefit from this program or someone who's interested, we've talked a little bit about the foster program, but how could they go about getting involved in that if they need the resources that you provide?
There's multiple ways. Again, they can call our office, and that is 936-637-3300. Buckner.org/Lufkin. There's a link on there where they can go and fill out an interest form. For more information, that goes directly to our program director. It will give them all the basic information, and then she will reach out to them to get the application process and just really visit with them about what their needs are. And if the program is not sufficient, that's the good thing about this is that they're going to provide them with the resources that they need.
Awesome.
If there's not a fit.
That's great. Well, thank you so much. We appreciate you coming on to the podcast and sharing all the great things that this organization does. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I want to thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week. Please check out Buckner Children and Family Services online. Think about ways to donate, give your time or your resources to help those that are in need. We don't ask a lot of people on this podcast, but we do. We don't ask a lot of our listeners, rather, on this podcast, but we'd really appreciate it if you reach out to some of these nonprofits that we've talked to throughout this month and whichever moves you as far as different organizations that you want to help or that you want to support. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast again this week, and we will see you next week.